All right, Coach, if you would, just start us off with the opening statement, and we'll go to questions.
First off, I've known Tony Madlock, Coach Madlock from Alabama State, the head coach there a long time. He's a really good coach, great person. He was a great player at Memphis back in the day, a great player. In fact, somebody was saying that he had beaten Georgia Tech.
I got that stat for you when you get up break.
What, for Tony Madlock?
Tony Madlock. I'll tell it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 week after the miracle in Milwaukee, James Forrest, who was here today.
Oh, he was.
Miracle shot against Southern Cal. 1 week later, we play Memphis in Kansas City in Sweet 16. Miss a chance to win the game in regulation, go to overtime. Tony Madlock went 6 for 6 from the free throw line in the extra period to help them win. Wow.
Yep. So, anyway, so that was a little history of and of course I've known Tony for a long time because I was the head coach at Memphis for a long time, and he's a really good coach. Secondly, I was proud of our young men. I thought we really played the right way. Yeah, this was a hard week. We were like the MASH unit. I mean, we were banged up, guys sick, guys out, trying to find practice times due to finals. It was not easy. But, really 25 assists on 37 made field goals is a great stat. Only 5 turnovers. The Georgia Tech record was 4. And, Kirill had 2, and Tristan had 1, his first one of the year. So I would like to have that record, but that's a great stat, 25 assists on 37 made field goals. Ken, you can now redo your story on the shooting, based off of today. So maybe all the guys read the story, Ken. Yeah, so maybe that was the key. Yeah. So because our three-point shooting, Ken was talking about, doing a story on our shooting, deservedly so. We hadn't shot the ball well, so we shot it how I felt like we should shoot it all season long. And but I really thought we got good shots. Like, we played the right way. That was the biggest thing. We did our thing getting back on the glass, 7 offensive rebounds, out-rebounding them by a plus 11. Defensively did a nice job in some areas. So, Kyle Sturdivant, great stat line, 8 rebounds. He got assigned we had 3 guys get the privilege to sign the bubble, the rebounding bubble. Jalen Moore, 4 offensive rebounds. Rodney Howard, 10 defensive, 11 total. Kyle Sturdivant, 8 defensive. Remember, the rule is 4 offensive, 6 defensive, or 10 total. That group that we started, it gave us a great lift and played well from there.
We talked Thursday about the three-point shooting, and you felt that this team was a better shooting team than we've seen recently, and they come out and shoot 52% from 3. And I guess when you saw Maxwell hit that first one, you had to think, well, maybe this could be our day.
Yeah, and heck, one of our best shooters, Miles Kelly, had to hurt our percentage today. He was 2 for 6. So that just shows how well we shot it today. And but yeah, Tristan got us going with those first 2 threes, and that was great. And see him kind of make some shots because his percentages he's better than what his percentages have shown, and a bunch of our guys are. So that's why I just knew we just needed to kind of break that barrier, and we did that this afternoon. And we got good shots, played the right way, and moved the ball, and took care of the ball, and played as the open man's the go-to man.
Coach Pastner, is it fair to say this game, at this point in your schedule, served its purpose for Georgia Tech? Is that fair to say?
Well, what I would say is that I don't take any game for granted. You see around the country that teams are the parity amongst college teams now. It's there's so much parity. There's no more. This is not 80s, 90s, 2000s, early 2000s where there's about a 20 to 30 teams and you can just dominate and everybody's good. The parity has changed due to the transfer portal, due to the additional COVID year, due to everyone's on television, due to everybody can get to the Final Four from any level, due to everyone get to the NBA from any level. The parity's just changed. It's just a different game, so you can't take any game for granted. But you've got to play the right way to give yourself a chance to win. And so these are hard games because you're coming out of finals, and this is a hard week for us. I mean, it's just a hard week with finals. I mean, the Georgia Tech finals are just zero. It's not messing around. I mean, guys are under real duress and stress and just real intensity being a student athlete here. I mean, it's a hard, challenging, rigorous curriculum with a lot at stake during the finals week, and not obviously for students and obviously for student athletes, and so the intensity of that. Obviously, getting a degree from here can change your life and open up doors way beyond anyone's thinking of that. On the doors that can open just by graduating from here. But before you get to that point, you've got to go through the rigorous curriculum, which makes it such a powerful, diploma, getting a degree from here. And so this week's a hard week. And on top of that, we were really banged up injury-wise. Like I said, we're sort of like the MASH unit.
How much, how did you weigh whether to play Debo and Davon particularly?
Well, they were out most of the week, but I felt it was important that they played if they could. Obviously, that had to be cleared by our athletic trainer, which they were. Javon was not cleared, obviously, Javon Franklin. But they were cleared, and I thought it was important for them to play and get rhythm, because they've been out for a lot of the week. They've, we hadn't played in over a week. They needed to play just to kind of the rhythm because we have a quick turnaround on Wednesday.
We've seen what we're going to get pretty much from Howard and from Franklin so far this year, and then
and again, Rodney's really improved. I mean, he's making those shots. He's going at the rim with two hands. His jump hook has improved. He's come a long way. He's gotten a lot better. I'm really proud for his continuation on that.
Yeah, he had his long run today, and that
Yep.
he got into the flow of the game. But then you had a chance to see Emeka for extended minutes, and even a guy that you said is maybe a year away in Kirill, and they. You can see something's hiding in there with him, and that the more he plays, I think he has a chance to be a good one.
Which one?
Kirill.
Yeah, I think Kirill. Jordan Emeka did a nice job. Did some great things for us. With his, I think he had 2 blocks today and had some really big rebounds. Jordan Emeka plays hard, but I think Kirill's going to be a good player. He's, like I said, he's still a year away, but you can see he continues to day by day get better. And he's a big guy. I mean, he's going to get better as each time progresses. He's got a good, quick first step, and he can move, and he can do some good things.
Couple more for Coach.
Tristan brought up something about, I was asking about the shooting and the team shooting well from 3, and he mentioned what he called the disease of me, and I guess that's something, can you describe just kind of what you've seen and why you felt necessary to bring that up to them?
Well, I brought that up a while ago, the disease of me. I felt that's what happened in Fort Myers. And I don't blame the players on that. That's not on them. I blame it on me. That I allowed. We had unfortunately, it's negativity it can be just as dangerous as positivity if you digest the poison. When I say digest it, if you digest the praise or you digest the negativity, neither is good. And but it's important to play the right way. And I felt we played with the disease of me type of mentality in Fort Myers, meaning that it was not playing the right way, not how I want our teams to play. I don't blame our young men on that. Absolutely not. Do not put anything on them. That falls on my shoulders because I allowed that to creep in. So I had to really make sure we tighten that up. And since then, we've played way better, played the right way, and continue to try to eliminate any opportunity of having any disease of me. And again, guys don't do it sometimes intentionally, but from my chair for them to understand what that looks like and when that happens to nip it in the bud, or playing the right way, what that also looks like. So that's been something that we've been big about now since Thanksgiving.
What did you see about him? In Fort Myers?
Just that we didn't, Ken, and look, I've always said things are deeper than they look on the surface, always. So at the time, maybe if we beat Utah, I would not have maybe nipped in the bud because you win the game and who knows what happens next. But we lost 2 games there, and I didn't think we didn't start either way well. We didn't play the right way either game. I just didn't like how we played and how we were, and I just felt it creeping in during that time in Fort Myers on just little things. And again, that's on me. That's my fault for allowing it to creep in, not the players, not the student athletes. So I got to take responsibility for that. And but then on the turn, I got to course correct and nip it in the bud, and we've done a good job of that to that point, along with my assistant coaches, obviously. And we've got to continue to play the right way as we moving forward and not having any disease of me. We're really good when we don't allow the disease of me to fester. And again, that is not a Georgia Tech. That's just that can happen to any team. A lot of teams can have that, but it's really important to try to nip it in the bud when you can see it hanging there a little bit.
When you do see that disease of me, not to ask the obvious, how do you nip it in the bud?
Well, you got to use the bench as a motivator. You pull guys right out. You show a lot of film and have them see what I think what the disease of me looks like, so they can visually see it. Again, we've got great guys on our team. We've got really, really good young men. So this isn't a character thing or anything. This is just part of a team, and things happen as part of a team. That's as teams grow and get better as the year goes. But as sitting in my chair, when you see something, you got to nip it right in the bud that could fester. And we nipped it right in the bud. It hurt us, but it might have, we might not have beaten Georgia, if we didn't. If what happened in Fort Myers, if we won that first game, we might not have nipped the disease of me. It might have lingered longer, and we might have lost the game to Georgia. I mean, that could have easily happened. Things are deeper than they look on the surface, and we were able to nip in the bud, but I have my pulse on it to make sure that we don't allow it in. Again, things can happen. They're still young men. You still, it's a game of energy. There's still going to be, hopefully we have lots of wins and very few losses, but there's going to be highs and lows. And so it's keeping out of the disease of me even during the tough times too. That's really critical as well.
Beginning of the year, you talked to us and said, I don't have any one set lineup, because I think our bench goes pretty deep. And of course, coming into this game, you had gone with the same lineup for about 5 games, and today you had to make some changes, and those 3 guys all stepped up, so that pretty much fit in with what you've been telling us.
Well, the star of the team's the team, and the star of the team's the team. You don't want any disease of me, and you want to play the right way. The open man's the go-to man. The go-to man's the open man. We've got more than 5 starters, and it proved that tonight, this afternoon, that we've got different guys that can get in there and get the job done. So, really proud of our team.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.